That's the mic. There's the red dot in the back. Okay, today's date is 10/15/15. Time is 14:45. Today's date is 10/15/15. Time is 14:45. Sergeant Corsi and Dennis Sullivan on the 5th floor of the pretrial detention facility. Speak with Ebron again. His request. Hey, we're back. Ebron. Thanks. Okay, mine is working. Yeah, I got this club seats upgraded.
Do you give your tickets to someone?
I don't.
Or does that count as your tickets and they sell your seats?
That's what I don't know because, you know, they told me bring my tickets to the West Coast. I don't know my names in there. They give me club. I don't know.
I bet they double sell it.
I mean, no. I'm all right with it. I mean, I wouldn't be all right with that if, like, say, hey, since you're not using it, can I?
Right.
But I still have to bring the ticket in.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Right.
yep.
Oh, same old. Is it on?
It's on. It'll actually pop up if somebody's on the.
Can I get a guard to power it on?
Yeah, well, you have some to turn it on. I don't want that thing on.
A polygon.
What's going on with Boyle or Perkins?
We'll get in that in just a minute when we get through this. What time was it? 2:55. Again, you and I have gone over these a bunch of times. I know you can read and write. I know you know your rights, but I'm going to read them to you anyway, real fast. You do not have to make a statement or say anything. Anything you say can be used against you in court, and you have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before you make a statement or before any questions are asked of you, and have the lawyer with you during any questioning. If you cannot afford to hire one, one will be appointed for you before any questioning if you wish. If you do answer questions, you have the right to stop answering questions at any time. Consult a lawyer. Same deal. Initial and sign, just stating that you understand your rights. Thanks. Is this the kite that you gave?
Yeah.
All right. That's your handwriting? That's the CO's? Okay. Who'd you give it to? Remember?
Holland.
See, a lieutenant who's got a mark.
He's just regular. I was trying to get a hold of the lieutenant, but he was busy.
So you gave this to Holland, and Holland, I guess, gave it to the lieutenant who called Sullivan.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the one we're in. This one's off. Yeah, this one's off. You want to move next door?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, thanks, I'm sorry, man. Appreciate it.
Switch around, man, because you never know who's on the other end of that.
Interview room 2.
You already got it, right? You don't need to sign it, but you have it. There. You give it to an officer Holland, who I guess gave it to. We talked to Manti, the state, just to clarify some things. How many days prior to you getting back? How many days, what I'm asking is how many days prior to this, to that Thursday when all this started?
We went out there Friday or Saturday
Is when you picked him up.
when we picked him up.
Okay. And that he was at his house or wherever it's living?
I mean, you think the actual day? No, he was actually.
House where it's living.
It was either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I remember me and her and another friend from Tampa went out that weekend. So I can't remember when we actually picked them up. It was that weekend, and then we went to her mom's house that day.
And then y'all came home.
Yeah.
And then, wasn't it Monday or Tuesday when y'all were back at the apartment and her mom came over and you left with the kids?
No, that was when, that might have been Wednesday.
But it was that week?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all talking about the same week.
Her mom came over Monday, I think I left. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday, and I was with Josh.
Okay.
And I remember.
That's when you were driving around Arlington?
Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah. That's when told me her mom had just passed me, so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was Tuesday or Wednesday.
When who took him to his house? You or her both?
That might have been when I took him to meet, and I was waiting for them at Marietta, and then I was waiting there for close to an hour.
Okay.
I finally called them back, then I met them at Chafee, the Shell gas station.
Okay. And he appeared fine at that point?
Yeah.
And then when you picked him up, did you notice, because earlier you said, and I'm not sure I understand, but you said you compared it to an infant soft spot.
I could sit this right on the side of your head. I bet it will sit right there.
Okay.
That's how that felt.
I don't understand what you
If
mean.
I could sit it, instead of it rolling off, normally it would roll off.
Right. It would sit there?
It was that, like I could feel it. And I said, what the,
Like a soft spot? Okay.
It was like a line on both sides.
On both sides? Was it soft in the middle?
No, it was just, like I said, it would just be
That line? Which is
maybe about that deep, maybe about that wide.
So a half inch, and so it was like it was swollen? You know how you get a contusion and it swells up?
Like like this, right?
Indention? Like the indention in the head? Okay. And when did you notice that?
She noticed it that day.
So
when
noticed
her
it
mom's
first.
house. Yeah. And she asked me, and I felt his head.
So the day y'all picked him up,
Yeah.
is when she noticed it.
Yeah. She said, did he have that before? And I said, no. I mean, I normally don't rub him down like she does. She's always up in his head and everything else, feeling him, or either checking for lice, because I know Danny's kids had it. And I told her to just check periodically. That was definitely something new to me. I'm not used to it. And said I think she had found some at one time.
Found lice?
Yeah. And that was coming from Danny's little girl.
So lice was new to you?
That's
Because only Caucasians get it, right? Okay.
That's it. So,
All right, so she notices it, she points it out to you, and then you said he stopped eating. He shut down, basically. At what point was that?
Solid foods, right? Or
solid foods. I think she said maybe Monday he might have ate something, but threw it up in the morning. It might have been Monday. The days, honestly,
What day was it you were driving around with, what's his name?
Josh. I believe that was Wednesday.
And that's the day you went to McDonald's and he wouldn't eat it. He was just drooling.
Yeah, or he just had it in his mouth.
And wouldn't chew it or swallow it?
Like he chewed it and just left it there. And when I look back, I could see, a little bit coming down. Fuck, I pulled over in the middle. It was right after that light where Powers meets Old King. I just pulled over in the middle.
Was he verbal? I can't remember.
He talked, but it wasn't anything you could sort of understand sometimes. These certain words.
jibber jabber. Most
Yeah.
So, all right. So, at least by, you said Monday you think he ate something, she fed him, he threw it up. And then when you were riding around with Josh, he wouldn't eat the McDonald's.
No.
And then you said something about he was drinking out of a bottle. Was it a bottle or a sippy cup? And you saw red.
But yeah, it'd be like little chunks floating. I mean, the thresh was stuff that seems like you would want to scrape it off, but they
What
said
did it
don't
look
like.
like in his mouth?
It was like yellowish or whitish yellowish.
Okay.
But that was after the doctor. After we got all that stuff,
When did he go to the doctor for that?
That same time he went to the doctor when he fell down the stairs.
Before he went? Or after?
Before, yeah.
Before, okay.
When I took him that morning, I remember he, the whole top of his nipple, his bottle was bit off. So we just gave him the sippy cup. And I remember calling me, he said, he's not drinking out of this sippy cup, whatever. And I said, yeah, we're trying to get him onto that, as opposed to him being stuck on that bottle.
So what did you notice the red stuff was in? Sippy cup or bottle?
It was in the bottle. So as he's sucking, sucking whatever out of his mouth, once he lets it go. And,
When you say red stuff, what did it look like?
it was blood. It was blood and probably some of that thresh stuff or whatever. But we get it. We put juice in it, give it to him. He'd be drinking some. And as he stops drinking, you know how a nipple will make that noise and it just pulls it right out. And so you have little stuff floating around.
Okay. And then, I'm trying to remember what else we talked about that they wanted me to clarify.
Did they attempt to get in touch with Perkins?
As far as I know, I told them what your request was. Their biggest issue, honestly, is, to be honest with you, they don't believe you. They don't believe because they've been down this road before. They want some good faith from you. They're going to talk to Perkins.
I mean, I'm not just making it up. Like I said, with the phone.
No, it's not that they think you're making it up. They think they're not sure what you're willing to do if they're willing to do something for you.
I mean, that's why I'm bringing them here. It's not it's not a joyride that we took before. It's no time for the games and shit. And I wouldn't be calling you guys over here wasting time. I'm not trying to send you on the wild goose chase. And I know you kept asking me this, that, and I'm not even trying to feed you anything and bullshit around with you. And it's taken months for me to finally be like,
At least answer some of the questions. I mean, we're not talking about a field trip or anything, maybe at this juncture, but let's go back to some of the questions that were basic questions that are little.
That opens everything up.
Yeah, but it's still on us to prove it. You know,
Here's the deal, brother.
prove or disprove.
From the get-go, you have said you did not kill that child, correct?
That's the one that gave me that I gave the note to.
That officer. You know what everyone believes. You know that most people believe that you killed that child.
I know what's
Right.
going on with people.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what. I understand you don't want to give up much.
I want to help with everything.
I understand that. I think what Sullivan is trying to say, you need to answer some questions to prove to the state that you're going to be on
Serious.
board. Right? Without going, you don't have to give it all. You don't have to go all the way without dealing with Perkins in the state. But you got to give something to them.
They're not going to write a blank check. Bottom line, they're not going to write you a blank check without some goods.
I can tell you this state attorney's office, they do what they say they're going to do. If they tell you they're going to go to bat for you, they're going to go to bat for you. All right? Ask around about Manti in here. Well, I guess you can't. You're locked up.
I know about it.
The people in here know if Manti says, I'll do something, I'll do what I can to help you, he does what he can to help them. They're not out here they're not on a witch hunt. They want the truth just like we do. If you didn't murder, then help us prove you didn't murder. Do we all think that you did something with him after he was dead? Yeah. I mean, that's kind of common sense. But that doesn't mean you killed him, correct?
I didn't kill him.
But we know you were the last one to have him, according to you. And you said, in fact, this morning you told us that both kids were with you when you dropped off at work. Whether he was alive or dead, you said they were both there. I asked you if he was dead when you went to work. And you got upset.
Didn't get upset. I'm just.
Well, you got tears in your eyes. I don't know if that means yes or no, or you just don't want
It's hard to trust anybody.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's hard to trust. I don't think me or Sullivan have lied to you yet. And we're not on a witch hunt. We want the truth as much as you do. But there's things that you're going to have to, at some point, you're going to have to put your trust in us if you want this to continue on. It's a big step for you. Or you can ride the system out and see what happens. I know y'all got a hearing tomorrow.
I know where my mind is at, and it hasn't been there this whole time.
Which is where?
Helping out 100%. And I don't think at this point,
Why weren't you wanting to help out? For what reason?
when I first called you guys, and
I mean, from the get-go. Why didn't you want to be straight up about it?
just look at the way everything looked at that point, and say if say if you guys would have got everything that you might have thought was, you know, the truth or whatever, and the baby's there, whatever it is, I'm sitting facing a murder. Half the shit that's going on with her isn't coming to light.
Like what? That's what you gotta help us with. Are you trying to protect her?
I'm protecting her.
Okay, well then, if the culpability is on, then you're the one that holds that key. You're the one that's gotta give us that. She's not protecting you.
I know. My main thing is, like I said, after that first time you guys went and got the lawyers, Manti, or whoever it was, they came back and said, we won't push for the death penalty. That's where everybody's mind was at. At that point, I'm just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I didn't kill this baby. Everybody thinks I killed the baby. Everybody thinks.
Well, you gotta put yourself in our shoes, and why everybody's thinking that. You're the last person, by your
Admission.
own words, you're the last person to have that child. You make up the story about him getting kidnapped, which we're able to disprove via video. You got it. You're smart. You're not the normal dumb criminal that we deal with. You're smart enough to know if you put yourself in our shoes, you'd think the same exact thing. Now, over the months, do I necessarily believe that? No, not necessarily. But without you helping us prove it otherwise, dude, help us prove that you didn't do it. If she's responsible, then tell us she's responsible. But you gotta tell us. We can't, we gotta go with what the evidence shows us. We can't make stuff up, right? And our evidence right now is against you because you hurt yourself. You dug yourself a damn hole so deep that you're struggling to climb out of. And you dug the holes by lying over and over and over again. If you had been truthful from the get-go, where do you think we'd be right now?
From the get-go, we would have never been here, period.
Probably not.
It's not beyond repair.
It's not beyond repair. But you're the one that holds that key. Because he ain't going to come forward and say anything unless it's going to help her.
How can any mother supposedly come forward and help herself if that's, you know, if something else happened that she should have never fucking went to work or whatever? And
It's not a perfect world, though. That's the thing about it.
What was the question? I'm sorry, my son was texting me.
I don't know, jumbled up question, but really, in her mind, I know what's going on in her mind. How can she just come forth and be like this when everybody's already saying, you know, you're going to see this murder, you've protected him, you're doing this, you're doing that. And she's not protecting me, she's protecting herself.
By not coming forward? Or by not telling the truth?
By not telling the truth.
Well, then you need to tell the truth, Ruben. It's time to start thinking about you and stop thinking about her.
She relied on you, now you're relying on her. And
No.
what happened? She was caught out in Baker County with a needle in her arm.
No.
Okay? While you were here. She wasn't out there digging for the truth. She damn sure wasn't beating our door down. She'd show up in court dressed up like a nun, you know? Pull her hair back, trying to look all, you know, like she's going to church.
Sophisticated or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And she walked out that last day in court and went and did a fucking dope deal.
Yeah.
You told me you didn't murder. How did die?
What has man tired or anybody's. I mean, because
To us, they've discussed what they're gonna, they haven't discussed with me. He's told me he's discussing with his bosses what the possible offers could be for you. The problem is, what the offers are depends on what you're willing to do and whether or not
to go from
we recover body.
to finish 100%.
But they can't put something on the table, Ruben, without knowing. They gotta know something. They can't say, Ruben, I'm gonna give you immunity for everything if you just tell me.
Just like the lawyers did before. That's where that negotiation comes in. It's always hypothetical.
No, it's not. I'm going to stop you right there. It is not hypothetical. Not from the state attorney's office. I can tell you this. They asked us, what do we think? We think that you're ready to be honest. And then the second question is, why? What has he done to prove that? And you know what? We can't say anything. Calling me over here for fifth or sixth time does nothing. You saying, and don't take me as being brash, but you saying and then crying and all this stuff, saying, oh, believe me. Give me a fucking reason. I've got 3 months of lies to not believe you.
Well, that's why I tried to tell you certain things earlier, including that. Those
You can't
pictures-
try to tell me the truth. That's about it. You can't try
Well, I
to tell me
told
the
you some
truth.
stuff earlier, and I know they don't.
You can't give me hints, dude. You can't tell me. Not with the pictures. The pictures, honestly, this is what you tell me. You tell me where I'm wrong with this. You told me about his pictures. He's standing up. Okay? Now, unless there's blood dripping out of his mouth or anything, which you didn't mention, that's not going to show us anything. A child's condition, especially when they're alive, if he's standing up, it's not going to show us whether he's sick, dying, healthy, or whatever. It's going to show us one thing: he's not dead.
That's showing certain things that would never.
It doesn't show that you didn't murder him. You said an hour before all this happened. It doesn't show that you murdered him 5 seconds after the thing was taken.
What does it show?
What does it show? It shows his face. From the angle I was trying to take, you can see his face looks a little swollen here. I told her to move his ears because all that shit back here
On both ears?
On both ears, discolored.
And you took pictures of that?
Yes, I took pictures of that. I told him if I'm not watching him, I couldn't take pictures of his hair because his hair is too long. Of those, and
What was the reason for you taking pictures of the bruises behind
because
both
I told him
ears?
I'm not watching him. We just went through something. What was it? That was Thursday, maybe Wednesday, with Brittany when she came over, and she had that little. You know, she was kind of joking, but I'm like,
She saw the bruising.
yeah, nothing about that shit is funny. When you're sitting there saying, damn, Ruben looks like, you know, whatever, he been in, you know, Mike Tyson type fight, whatever, I'm like, this shit ain't funny.
Do you have black eyes?
No, it was just that stuff that I was talking about, you know, the head, and she was like, what happened? You know, we're sitting there talking, like, I don't know. I'm like, no, you remember when Vicky was there and I told you?
Vicky
That's a friend. She works at Copeland's.
Shrenko or whatever it is?
Yeah.
The Russian
Yeah.
chick?
Yeah. When I told her at that point in time, and she said, when you tell me, she acting like she spaced out now, that's what's pissing me off. I was like, because I told you then, and I said, when we picked him up from the house, you were the one that mentioned it, and now all of a sudden she acts like she doesn't remember shit. When Brittany came over that day, Thursday, it was the same thing. She said, you know, I'm mad for, you know, getting you in trouble. I was like, no, you didn't get me in trouble. I said, you know, straight up, this bitch wants to act like she doesn't remember what, you know, went down, what happened, what was going on with the baby. And then we know that he came from the house that way, but she didn't do anything about it.
Or not she. Who else didn't do anything?
I didn't.
Why?
What can I do? I mean,
You can get the baby. You can get the baby help.
Did you tell her to get help?
Did you at least do
that? Her main problem is she was pissed because she said it called DCF in Gainesville. She said she was dealing with DCF Gainesville. After that incident, May 30th at her apartment, she was mad. She said she was dealing with them there. She kept telling DCF the kids were not there. Somebody else said they were at Kim's house in that same complex that night. So she was dealing with DCF Gainesville, DCF Baker, and now, shit, you're about to be dealing with Jacksonville, DCF.
Why did you delete the pictures?
You look at what's going on during that time.
Can I ask you this?
I'm not saying
When did you delete them?
whatever officer was asking me for pictures. He was like, "Do you got any pictures?" And I was like, "Yeah." Got my
Officer
phone,
where? At the
right
scene?
there at the scene.
A patrol officer?
Patrol officer, the first guy that arrived there, he was just like,
Oh, he asked you for pictures because he
Yeah.
was working a kidnapping.
yeah, he first asked about the car. I said, yeah, so right when I get on my phone, hit it, it's like, shit.
They showed up.
I see the last ones that I took, those 5 or 6. So I'm like, let me scroll away from those. I'm trying to look through my phone, finally get the car picture, send that to him. He asked me about, found the picture, I think, where they were all laying down. Then I found a better picture. So at that time, I'm looking at, shit, this is going on. But yeah, I got 6 pictures of a kid and that don't look too good.
No, but
So you deleted them that night?
That shit, yeah, it's
what difference does those pictures make when you're reporting a kidnapping?
because it really did freak me out and scare me. From what
Did you do it?
did I do? What?
Did you inflict the injuries?
No.
You know what makes sense to me? Throw out the kidnapping. We both know that's bullshit, right? Man, I mean, I'll make my point.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, right?
What's the point?
I'll tell you the point, but I would hope that we're ready to be honest among men.
I'm trying to be honest.
Kidnapping is bullshit. All right, you don't want to answer that. You want me to go over there and tell the state that you're ready to get on board with us, but you can't even answer something that I can prove, the media's prove, the video's prove without a doubt, and that you can't say, yeah, it's bullshit.
That's the issue that the state has.
Yeah, you can't do that. You won't even give me a statement to say that. You won't even tell me to say, Sullivan, it was bullshit. I was scared because of the injuries. You could say that, but now I'm feeding it to you. But what the point I was going to make is that if we threw the kidnapping out and you said, this is what happened to him, he's wherever. I took these pictures an hour ago because we just picked him up from his damn daddy's place a couple days ago, and it got worse and worse, so I took pictures. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here. Okay? And now you still want to play a game and say, I can't even tell you something that you know is true and we all three know is not true, that the kidnapping was bullshit?
You're not playing the game at all.
You're playing.
Here's what their concern is. You're asking for a reduction in sentence, I'm assuming.
With the truth, I mean, shit.
I mean, right now, you're looking at up to 50 years, correct? Because you're HO?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you're asking for a reduction of charges and hoping that if all of the truth comes out, maybe some of the charges get totally dropped. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. The problem is you won't even admit to us when we showed you the video, Ruben, you know we have disproved that bullshit kidnapping, and you won't even admit that.
And you
How can I go to Manti and say, he's ready to cut a deal, but he won't tell us anything to show his good faith, so we don't know, if you offer him this, we don't know what he's going to tell you. We don't know if he's going to tell you
We
the
don't need
truth.
the phone call to your mom that says, that could have been anything, that video jumped. And then your mom go to the media, you got your mom in on a lie? You did tell your mom, I got the recording.
Did I say that for her to go to the meeting?
You knew what she was going to do. She out there raising hell with her Bible, telling, saying that we're messing with you. And you're like, that could have been, you said your words, and I think it's almost verbatim, that could have been anybody. That video ain't clear.
It's pretty clear. Especially with the clothes you were wearing.
Yeah, I got your shoes from Kangaroo.
And the ones you're carrying, the shirt you're carrying.
It's way clear if you're
And
watching.
the car is crystal clear. Your biggest mistake was driving a car that sticks out like a sore thumb.
That's like trying to walk out of here wearing this. Everybody gonna see it.
That's neither here nor there. Manti's issue is we've been down this road with you before, and it didn't go anywhere. He's comfortable going to this hearing tomorrow and he's comfortable going forward with the charges that he has against you,
Yeah.
because you have not been willing to cooperate up to this point.
Up to this point, to this day.
Right, but you're
So
still
it's
not showing that you want to cooperate.
They called us over here, we're not
I'm not
doing
asking you to take us to the body right now, but you gotta give us something that we can give Manti. You gotta give me something. You gotta tell me, yeah, the kidnapping was bullshit because I was scared, whatever. I'm not gonna feed you. We know it was bullshit. We know dead. We all know that. You maybe you know how he died, maybe you don't. That'll all come out in the wash. But I believe 100% that you know where he is. And if you're worried about a tampering with evidence charge, which is basically what that is, compared to the charges that you got right now, then you're worried about the wrong charge.
I feel like we just went back to July 25th.
I do.
It's day one, dude. Calling us
It
over here.
really is, because when I called you over before, you know, I might have been a little bit mad and whatever. I sure as hell wasn't helpful.
No, you weren't helpful, because before you told us he was on the south side, and then you told us he was on the north side, and then you told us he may be in a container, or hell, you didn't tell us anything,
I know.
to be honest with you.
And that's something Manti's got his hands on. He could say, well, what do I do with this? He's telling you this today while he's sitting in an orange uniform over here looking at time. I got all this, what he said. I got, what was it, a $250,000 investigation that you called us.
Ruben, I believe that you want to come clean at some point with everything, because I think it's in your self-interest. I think it's in your self-interest to do that. But you got to give me something to give them.
If everybody's believing I know so much, and believing things didn't happen the way they did, you should at least be able to come at me and tell me, well then, this is what we can possibly do.
I'm telling you that Manti believes that. I'm telling you, Manti goes with what evidence he has in front of him. That's what he does. Manti's position and mine and Sullivan's position are two different things. He goes because he has to go into court, and all he can work with is the evidence he has. He can't work on speculation and what he believes.
Good.
He and I can. That's our job. You know, I can sit here and tell you, I believe you know where the child is. We're two different entities. We work hand in hand, but he's got his job, we have our job. But you gotta, dude, I got nothing against you. You pissed me off a few times way back then with all the bullshit you put us through, but personally I got nothing against you. if this investigation leads to proving you're innocent, I'm perfectly good with that. I don't want to put an innocent person in prison, and neither does he. That's all we're after is the truth, and you're the one that holds it.
Funny, the same guys that talked to you in July that didn't believe a damn word you said are still over here willing to listen to you.
Could you not? I mean, plain and simple, could you not?
Well, I know what my gut, I know what my wishes, I know what, my hopes tell me.
If you didn't
But
think that I had something
there again, that's
or everything for you, you sure as I wouldn't be.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, we know you know where he is. We know you can take us to him. What our gut is about what happened to him is
Something we can't take over to the state.
it's eating you up, dude. It's tearing you to pieces.
It's in this today, man. Just like you said, it's in this today.
Can't you call like the lawyer right now?
I'll send him a text. See if he's heard him.
Oh, man, bro.
I can't call from in here.
Yeah.
Doesn't know where he is?
You shaking your head no, or you just can't believe this, or
I believe everything.
why are you shaking your head no?
Why doesn't...
Tilting your head towards him doesn't tell me anything. I mean,
Why are you tilting your head towards me?
You just asked me a question.
Olive knows where he is.
Why hasn't... Nah, I can't...
Why isn't what?
Why hasn't she said anything? Why? Anything. I mean, you guys slowly gotta find certain things out. Then she finally admits to, oh, well, the baby was this.
Because she's a liar.
right. That's all she's lived her life on. She went in front of a judge and said, I won't do drugs. Walked out of court making a drug deal. I mean, literally,
That's crazy.
you know?
I understand what you're trying to tell me, but I can't go on. Does she know where he is or not? No?
That's going to be a big hurdle for you to be able to say as a person, I did this, I put him somewhere, but I want you to believe me that I didn't do this to him. And if she's more liable than you, all she's got to go and say is, hell, I was at work. I have 30 girls seeing me at work. And here he is. Y'all know he made a false police report. Y'all know that he's dumped a body. I may be a lying whatever, but I ain't that. So I mean, that's a lot. And think like that. We got to think from that aspect of it. You got a big hill to climb.
I'm thinking about a lot, period, this whole time. There's a lot of things where I come back and, lie about knowing me, lie about me having your kids, not even want to park right there where you see all them cops, understandably, not knowing that the same one that just questioned you followed your ass back to the apartments. You get home, you're told your son's gone. You go upstairs, bust out some coke. Shit, since we're gonna be up all night.
She can be all that, but you know what? End of the day, she can say, I didn't take a dead baby and go dispose of it. Prove to me, prove to citizens that might sit on a jury or whatever that you want us to believe that, but you're not giving us anything medically, physically, even verbally. I get head nods now. I mean, I guess that's progress. But I mean, she's got everything on her side. Fuck, I wouldn't say nothing either.
Yeah, she was at work when the
She straight up got an alibi.
She's at work and what?
according to you,
You already told us.
she was at work when the child went missing. According to you, that's what you told me.
According to you, everything that child abduction was bullshit and was a lie.
But not according to you.
But you also told me today, when you're being truthful.
I think more people will believe him.
Believe who?
You.
What do you mean?
That your story is that was bullshit, and that you're proving this happened this way. That the video, that child abduction, everything was bullshit.
You think they'll believe me?
Yeah.
Well, I think that too.
Yeah.
But your story to me today, when you're being truthful, according to you, is that both kids were with you when you dropped her off at work, which means she was not there when the child disappeared. You told us this morning, both children were in the car when you dropped her off. She's got a pretty good alibi. You got 30 other damn dancers.
Yeah.
That doesn't make her innocent. It doesn't make her innocent of what happened to him. It doesn't make her innocent of any of this. Ruben, I'm telling you, putting the child somewhere is the least of your worries. I don't know if that's what you're hanged up on, what you're hung up on. Do you know what that charge would be? Do you know what the charge is of moving a dead body?
F3 or something.
No, it's tampering with evidence. That's what it is. It's the same as moving a gun. It's the same as moving a knife. It's the same as moving whatever.
It's not murder.
There is no charge for moving a dead body or disposing of a dead body that I know of. Is there? If there is, there may be a municipal ordinance.
There's a misdemeanor charge, like improper handling it, and that's a medical examiner charge.
I just, could be responsible for what happened to that child. There's a chance she is.
Like you said, she has a pretty good alibi.
Well, she has a good alibi for when she has
from the beginning.
No, she has a good alibi for when the child disappears. She doesn't have an alibi for when the child gets injured,
Right.
or whatever happens to him.
Right. That's something medically we can almost put a timestamp on.
And if the injuries didn't occur with either one of y'all, then it is what it is. Then we look at someone else. If they happened with, then that's what we start looking at. But we got to get past you. If you're going to sit here and tell me you didn't murder that child, you didn't harm that child, you didn't injure that child, and you want me to believe you, then you're going to have to give me something, because I can't just take you for your word because you've lied to me too many times. And you know it. I told you I'm not mad at you. He's not mad at you. Or you can roll the dice and go with it and see what happens. But
I mean, I want to be, like I said, as of last night,
you're ready
I'm
to get
trying to
shit
be
over with.
100% with you guys.
Okay.
I'm not trying to play around all this bullshit that's been going on long enough. People lying about this, covering for that, whatever. It's,
What is it that you are looking for from the state?
give 100%, testify, I mean, any and everything that they need me to.
In return for?
In the process of being 100%, say if I had something at the apartment that I didn't want anybody to see, and hey, I tossed this over here, am I gonna later on down the line get charged for that?
Are we talking about dope?
Talking about maybe firearm or something like that. You know, being 100% means everything included. You're not trying to, you know, bits and pieces and jump from this scene to that scene.
I can't answer that question because I'm not a prosecutor. I can't cut deals with you. I can go back to him and ask him, but you're not going to get a piece of paper that says you have immunity from every crime in the world. That's not going to happen, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what you've done, and you're going to have to answer for some of those things.
I mean,
But murder is different. Of child abuse, if you didn't do that, that's different. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, making up lies, making us chase red herrings, and telling the police about bullshit abduction and this and that, and you made that decision. You know? But I'm telling you, you got a big hill to climb. The only way you can do is start giving presents. You know?
give me something to take back to Manti.
Like what?
I'm going to put that ball in your court. I've asked you questions and you don't answer them. I'm going to let you come up with something on your own.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be like, hey, y'all need to check a camera. No, you need to tell us a statement. You know, tell me where I'll tell you this. It's already acknowledged you know where that body's at. In the end, you're gonna have to tell where that body's at. No doubt about it. That body's gotta be found regardless, because that is something to totally tell everybody that you're not a monster and that you don't do kids that way. In the end, that's got to happen. That has to be done regardless. So I mean, but it doesn't prove you murdered that kid. And if you know that, then you know what? That's the first thing you should be giving up.
Yeah, if you didn't murder him, if you didn't kill him, then you really got no reason to hide him. Except for the fact that you hit him and you dug such a deep hole But again, I'm telling you, disposing of. Did he keep walking?
Yeah, he kept walking.
Disposing of a body. Huh? You know?
No, he just everybody recognized him, and I could tell from his expression.
Yeah, you're well known.
I don't like that at all.
Like you said, the people in Florida State Prison talk about you.
We talking about 3 charges of neglect, or we just talking about failing to get a child medical attention one time? You know? There's a lot of things that you hold, but I'm telling you what, in the end, I'm telling you, the prerequisite from Angela Corey to Rich Manti is, I want that body. That's going to happen. I mean, if you even want their attention, that to me, I think, is the best thing you can do. But I mean, it's I don't hold much hope in if you can't even answer a question. Man. I mean, it's. I mean, you can answer a lot of questions, but you want something in writing that we can't take over across the street.
That's what I was saying for the
attorneys. I can tell you this, that's it for the attorneys. That's not for us.
He hasn't heard back from. He said he hasn't answered. He's waiting for a text back from Perkins.
I know they got to have that body, regardless of what your people tell you.
More than you got.
Let's do it, man. It's Thursday. August, September, October. We're almost on 3 months. Your world changes, man, if you give us stuff that we show what you're saying is true. Your world changes.
Sullivan and I, no matter what happens, whether you tell us anything or not, we're always going to do 110% to find out what the 100% truth is, regardless. If that clears you, it clears you. If you're confident you're not guilty of some of this stuff, then you need to help us. Because there ain't no one else out there who's going to help you.
And we look good in suits too. When jurors see us, you know, we testifying on one side or the other, we look good in suits. But right now we've got nearly 3 months of work riding on lies that we got to fight against. And the big thing is that baby's body. Because the longer we wait, the harder it's going to be to find out medically. You telling us bullshit or not? I'm hopeful what you're saying is true, because this whole incident's has Swiss cheese holes in it the whole time. You know, I wish I knew this part. I know this part, but I really would like to have this part. And your Swiss cheeses, I really would like to tell them. But you know.
Yeah.
I hope Perkins says that Sullivan and Corsi do good jobs and they know what they're doing. I hope Nelson says that.
They talk bad about us, don't they?
No. Nelson told me to ask about him.
Nelson's a
to
straight
you guys
shooter.
and that. Yeah.
Nelson and I were partners for a while.
He told me. Yeah. He definitely told me about the details and that you guys know your stuff.
He's a man of his word, and if he tells you he's going to do something, he'll do something. But that's the same with us, dude. And I think we both told you before, you ain't worth my job moving forward with a lie. But you got to give me something to move forward with that we can prove. It's not a lie if this is all we got and you've allowed that to us. All I know is I know we have a dead baby somewhere. And that we're allowed to say that baby's dead because he can't care for himself. And we know other things. And we know that you acted totally...
I believe your silence hurts you more than it helps you.
Silence and your actions.
I really want to talk to these lawyers and see what's going on. I mean, other than that, I mean,
You talking about your lawyer or
yeah,
the prosecutors?
my lawyer with the prosecutors. I don't care if they're both over here and I gotta tell them both, whatever. But,
Okay. Do you want to give me something, give Manti, so he can take you at your word?
what to say.
Well, you just said I really want to talk with these lawyers. Are you not wanting to talk to us right now?
I mean, I really want this.
Are you all right to talk to us still, or are you just saying, oh, I still need to talk to these lawyers? I mean, I need to know that.
I definitely want to talk to the lawyers in the state. And
No, what he's asking is, do you want to end the conversation with us right now? Okay. All right, buddy. Well, we'll see what happens.
I mean, it's not like before. I'm not trying to push you guys.
That's
around.
fine. We ain't mad at you. It is what it is. I mean,
I want this shit done, but I want it done right.
But not Thursday. We've just ended that right now.
I mean, Perkins, he hadn't called Manti back. Who knows when he's going to.
We just do what you asked us to, and unfortunately, we got to.
If you change your mind, if you want to, or you think of something,
Tell these guys,
send another kite.
don't do it at 9 o'clock.
Don't do it.
What time is it?
15:49.
15:49 interview. 15:49 interview. 15:49 interview. 15:49 interview. 15:49 interview.